Hello everyone and welcome to this video, which is our Great Human Game series. I'm Grandmaster Matthew Sadler and we've got another little bit of fun from my Lichess games. And this is a blitz game, and it features a system of the Chigorin that Mariotti was very keen on somewhere in the 70s. Yeah, I mean the slight downside is that this line was actually refuted towards the end of the 80s. I remember it as a teenager seeing that. The other slight downside is that pretty much all of White's reasonable moves that aren't the reputation also assure him of a pretty firm advantage. But apart from that, yeah, there isn't particularly much to recommend the line either. But in any case, I've been having quite a lot of fun with Black with this, and this was quite a fun game played at Lichess. So let's have a look. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip the board so that we can see it from my side. Look at that, that feels more natural. d4, d5, c4, knight c6. The Chigorin, big favourite of Mariotti for a while, had some decent-ish sort of results. He was playing actually also 1e4, knight c6 as well. So, you know, it sort of probably felt quite natural to play the Chigorin as well. So knight f3, and now, yeah, bishop g4 is the normal move. But even e5 has been played actually, sort of offering some sort of transposition into a sort of Albin counter gambit. The Australian grandmaster Ian Rogers has played this. But Mariotti played knight f6, and after knight c3 played the move bishop g4. And what's the idea? Well, c takes d5, most natural move. Knight takes d5, e4. White's taking all of the centre there. But Black takes on c3 and then plays the move e5. So yeah, just exploiting that pin and trying to get White to commit the centre. Now, you know, if White tries to keep the centre fluid, then you know, Black gets very free developing play, very typical of the Chigorin. It's just very good for Black. But yeah, White can just play the move d5, which is a little bit awkward, and yeah, this knight has to move. And the knight moves back to b8. This is all you know, well-known theory. Now there's quite a few lines in this position. White played the move queen b3 in this position, just unpinning the knight and threatening the pawn on b7. Of course, unpinning the knight means that White is threatening the move knight takes e5. So yeah, this leads, you can get this sort of thing in many different ways, and I mean basically White's just pleasantly better. This pawn is pretty weak. If you try and defend it, then your light squares get horrible. And White's got stuff like, you know, rook g1, f4, got the two bishops, a bit more space. It's just a very good position for White. But okay, I mean the best way to try and play this is just to gambit the b7 pawn, and then just claim that you've got some sort of compensation for it somewhere. I mean, it's a sort of line where you sort of do, but you also sort of don't. I mean, there's nothing really clear that you can point to that you're that's you know, particularly going to cause White any problems. But on the other hand, your king's going to get castled. It's going to be safe, and you've got a few open lines and a few squares, and you know, maybe a few little targets that you can sort of aim for. It's more about really getting White to get worried about your threats rather than actually having any. And that's actually what happened in this game. I mean, White played bishop b5, castles, and then took on d7. So obviously Black was thinking, well, I don't want to give you a nice square on c5 for the knight, so I'll just exchange it. But of course, you know, you're wasting 2 tempi, you're giving back the 2 bishops. So, you know, Black's sort of thinking, well, you know, I've got a lead in development now. I'm a pawn down, but actually for the moment that pawn is not at all important. And actually the engine's already thinking that the Black's absolutely fine here, and that, you know, White should be taking some sort of preventive measures like h4 to stop the queen coming to h3, and if f5 they're even recommending queen c6, looking for the exchange of queens. And Black's not doing too badly here. White played the move queen a6, which is yeah, I suppose also quite natural, but Now I play the move queen h3, which I quite like. I mean, the queen's sort of hitting across there, really. So it means that when I go f5 and then f takes e4, if f takes e4, then my queen's going to be hitting this guy, which is quite nice. And, well, white sort of carried on playing a little bit in a passive way, really. Queen e2, I play f5. I mean, the engines think black's already very good here now. Queen g2 was the move that they wanted to play, followed by rook by f5. Just a bit more natural to stop the white rook from getting a bit active there. Yeah, I was thinking more about cutting across the third rank here, really. So, that's why I played left the queen on there. I mean, you tend to think more about queen g2 in terms of, oh, then I could take the pawn on h2, but I wasn't interested in that at all, of course. But it's not really why the engines want it. They want the queen there just to actually, reduce the activity of white's rook. Because after f5, the engines think that rook g1 would be best here. If queen h2, then we're going rook g3. It's that sort of thing, and if you go f4, I can keep on moving my rook up somewhere. But yeah, I mean, the idea really is that the rook is more active there. But yeah, white played the move bishop e3, and I could have grabbed a pawn with takes and queen g2 here again, but I was just sort of thinking that I wasn't really thinking that that's what I wanted to do. The engines think that's actually quite strong for black. I was kind of anticipating white castling queenside, and I desperately wanted to stop it, but I didn't choose the best way. I played the move bishop a3, which I kind of liked. I just thought it was a pretty cool move, really, just stopping the king from castling. You could actually do it better by playing rook b8, for example, because the idea is if castles, now I go bishop a3 check, and if king c2, then I go rook b2. So that would have been cleverer somehow, I think. After my move bishop a3, white went rook b1. I went rook b8, and now white played rook b3. Pretty typical move this, actually. You've got rooks opposing each other on the file, but one rook sort of latches on to a little support here. And the idea is, of course, that if takes, you improve your pawn structure. Very, very, very typical indeed, this. I now played a move that probably wasn't the best, apparently, but I quite liked it too. It was the move a5. So this was part of the idea. If rook a3, I've got rook b1 check. I'm actually just threatening to play the move a4 just to evict the rook from there. Now, funnily enough, the engines find a move that had not occurred to me at all. What they want to do is to play the move d6 in this position, and the idea is if I take with a bishop, you play the queen check, and then you play the king to e2. And if fe, then I go queen takes e4, and just in that way you create a little bit of space for yourself. Black's obviously doing fine because well, you've got your pawn back, and one of white's nicest pawns really is gone, but that was giving white just enough freedom to claim sort of equality somehow. But king d2 was played by white, and that gave me the chance for a4. And here white made a big mistake. It was time to exploit the fact that you've covered your first rank to play rook bb1. Not at all obvious there as an idea, especially because after f4 you've got to play the bishop over to a7. But you can just about hold things together like this. And actually the engine continues with, of course, something I hadn't seen at all. You sacrifice and then you play threatening rook b2 check. But then there's rook c1, just enough desperado there to hold everything, and yeah, it's quite nasty for white. Queen g2, queen e1, you've got to cover the first rank, queen f3, and then rook takes a4, and somehow white's holding together there. But okay, this is would have been quite something to find, although black needs to find a few good moves too somehow. But white played rook takes b8, and I played rook takes b8, and I thought this was looking pretty good. Because I'm threatening rook b2 check. So queen c4 was played by white, which is seemingly quite decent. But the point is that the king's was better when the queen came to c4 and then e2 was played. Obviously before white was playing the move d6 followed by queen c4, but d6 now would just be met by rook takes b2, by rook b2 check, followed by taking the queen. So not at all good. So queen c4 has to be played, but I throw in rook b2 check, king d3, queen f3, and well, I know there's d6 check, but I'm threatening queen e2 checkmate. So that feels like it should be all right. White played d6 check. I did actually think that king f8 might well be the best move, but yeah, I'm just bringing my king into danger, and I just thought king h8 would be better. And then how is white going to stop rook takes queen e2 check? Well, rook e1 was played. And I played bishop d6 quickly. Just as I played this move, I saw that I probably had an idea that worked. But actually, I could do the idea that I will play in the game. I could have done it on this move, but actually there's nothing better, that white just can't get out of this somehow. So actually this was just a nice, safe way to play. So queen a4 was played by white. And now this is your tactical puzzle. Black to play and win. It's pretty cool. When I played it on the board, I went ooh to myself, I have to say. It's a two-move tactic, basically. Not too complicated, but very nice. What's it about? Well, I go f takes e4 check. If you try and run, queen f7 is checkmate. Good thing too, because white was threatening either queen e8 or queen a8 check. But the key thing is what happens after queen takes e4. I'll just give you a moment, just in case you hadn't seen it. Black's got the absolutely gorgeous, I have to say, rook d2 check, and just exploiting a pin and an overloaded king. So the bishop is pinned, so you can't take the rook with a bishop. You can take the rook with a king, but then the queen goes, because I've got queen takes e4. So after rook d2 check, black resigned, which is a pretty nice picture, I have to say. That's why I basically showed you the game. I thought the rest was sort of vaguely interesting, but this was kind of a very nice tactic indeed, I thought. Yeah, I've had a lot of crazy games in the Chigorin. I might show you a couple more. A few of them have been nice, but yeah, there've been a few bumpy moments along the game. This one was kind of one that was fairly smooth, in the sense that I had the initiative all the time, although obviously I played it far from perfectly. But there we are. I hope you're enjoying these occasional games of mine. It's just, I said, I'm just playing some nice sharp openings and trying to attack all the time. And I think it's doing some nice stuff from time to time. But anyway, thanks very much for watching. Do give a like and subscribe if you're enjoying it. And hope to see you at the next ones. Thanks for watching.